Alright guys, good evening. How y'all doing tonight? I'm doing pretty well. How about yourselves? This is the Club of the Man 1993. And for the first time in a while, I am live on a Wednesday night to review NXT. Live. This is going to be the first of two streams I am doing tonight, as usually most of the time I watch AEW first. Well, since I'm home, once, they start opening up some more places around here again, and they bring back my usual trivia night I go to on Wednesday nights, it's probably going to be back to just, me waiting until like Thursday or so to review these shows, of course. But since I was home tonight, and while I was watching NXT, I finally got past this one spot in Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix I was struggling to do, and it was to beat the Ravenclaw champion in chess. In Wizard Chess. I finally caught it tonight, so I can move on from that. Hopefully soon I will start the next Harry Potter Let's Play, but there's other things I'm doing to take a little break before that. But anyways, so this week, since there is a pay-per-view this Sunday for NXT, I watched NXT first this week. I'll watch AEW tomorrow and do a review on Dynamite tomorrow night. And overall, for a go-home show for TakeOver in Your House, not bad. I'm in between two grades still for this show. It was good, but I'm not sure if it was great. Like, talking about it again may help me decide if I want to go with either a B or a B+. I'm in between both of those grades. It was still a good episode, but it didn't, NXT isn't setting the world on fire as much as it was with their audience. It's still good, don't get me wrong. I enjoy it, but I definitely think it's not as one of its strong points right now. But it's still doing good. This show, we had a lot of video packages for, the two main title matches, the NXT Championship and the NXT Women's Championship match. We had a Cruiserweight Championship match for the Interim Cruiserweight Championship Finals. So we're going to be seeing that. I thought we'd be seeing that at TakeOver, but we're not. We got the finals here. And also, surprisingly, we're not having an NXT Tag Title match at TakeOver in Your House as well, also. But there's still some good stuff on the show to watch, and of course we'll talk about it as we go on. What's up, Tyler? He says he watched both shows tonight. Nice. Again, I only got to watch NXT and watching AEW tomorrow night, and I will review Dynamite tomorrow night. But again, we'll do this stream. I'll take a couple minute break, and before I go to bed, I'll come back up here and do my preview and predictions for NXT TakeOver in Your House for this coming Sunday. So let's get into the show and talk about it. We got a lot to talk about for both shows. So I actually missed the first 7 or 8 minutes of this show. So I missed the exact opening match, which was Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae. Apparently, there was this match wasn't too long. It looks like that it ended with a double count out or something like that, and I guess we had Shotzi Blackheart, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Tegan Nox all get involved. Johnny Gargano came out also, which brought out Keith Lee, who helped out Mia Yim and her friends, and then they charged to the ring, but then Gargano's bail and the rest of the heels. So it was turned into a mixed tag match. Kind of the first time I've really seen NXT do that, where it kind of starts off with a one-on-one match, then it turns to a mixed tag match. I thought that was a little bit strange, but we had the match. It was mostly just, it wasn't really much of a mixed tag match. It was mostly just, Mia Yim and Candice LeRae continuing with each of their men in their corners. And Gargano and Candice, Johnny and Candice won, as Johnny would use his car keys to poke Keith Lee in the eye when he went for the spear bomb and the referee wasn't looking. Candice, though, slipped in and rolled up Mia Yim to get the victory, as Mia was checking on Keith. Afterwards, Johnny runs in and stabs the champ in the hand and grabs North American title afterwards and lays it by the In Your House logo. Here's the thing that I saw about this match that kind of bothered me a little bit. Again, I'm still at times I feel like I'm good, but I'm also not good still with Johnny Gargano as a heel. I mean, I think he needed it if he was going to stay in NXT, because he definitely needed a fresh direction, I felt, for sure. But I feel like, well, you kind of have Keith Lee kind of replacing him as your top baby face. I'll say it that way. I think he is definitely the hottest baby face in NXT right now. But the thing that's worrying me is they're having Johnny kind of. I see a lot of Sami Zayn in him. Like I feel like he's being booked a lot like Sami Zayn. He's not wrestling as much. I mean, he is, but he's too much of a coward and running away a lot and being scared and such. Which, why does every single heel have to be like that, for crying out loud? Yes, I get it. Keith Lee's a big dude. Johnny Gargano's not the biggest dude in the world, but still, every heel does not need to be a freaking coward. And he's not wrestling much. Well, okay, he's only had a handful of matches besides, of course, the well, I'll take that back, because he had the Black Heart and Rebel Heart match. That was awesome. His match with Dijakovic recently was actually pretty good. But this match, I didn't like how he was booked. Again, he was avoiding Keith. He barely was involved in the match. And again, it made me kind of think of what they did with Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. A match that should have been a sleeper, but it ended up being a snooze fest, I thought. This match, again, it wasn't terrible, but again, I don't. If Johnny's going to stay heel, he can't be a coward. I'm sorry. You can't make him a freaking coward. You can't. But Johnny and Candice win, and who will win on Sunday for the North American Championship? I'll get to that later on. So the Garganos win. We have the hype video for Tommaso Ciampa and Karrion Kross. Ciampa tells Kross that on June 7th he will find out that there's special, and then there's Tommaso Ciampa, basically. Mackenzie Mitchell interviews Dexter Lumis, asks what are the odds of Velveteen Dream defeating Adam Cole becoming the new NXT champion. Lumis doesn't say anything, but he walks off only to return with an easel, and he works on something, which we eventually find out that he drew a caricature that shows him driving off with Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. So, I don't know, I guess Lewis is doing something to the Era on Sunday to prevent them from getting involved in Cole's and Dream's backlot brawl? Still trying to figure out why Loomis is involved in this, especially if, him and Velveteen Dream aren't really communicating. It's still a little bit odd, but, it is what it is, pretty much. We had an interview with Drake Maverick. He was entering the building earlier, getting ready for the main event for the finals of the interim Cruiserweight Championship tournament. He's feeling no pressure, because it's either going to be the best day of his life or the worst. He could become Cruiserweight champion. He could gorge down on catering because his WWE career is over. But that's the beauty of it. Tonight we find out, pretty much. It'll either be the best day or the worst day of his life. We have the prime target on Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream's hype for their NXT Championship backlot brawl match. Starts with the Undisputed Era picking up Adam Cole on June 1st for a celebration. Dream, though, is rollerblading and remembering all his issues with Cole in the Era. The back and forth continues as the Era is toasted to Cole's year as champ, but Dream runs down his numbers advantage, his youth, his serene count on Cole, and has his ladies bring him his mirror. He dismisses them and talks to the mirror, and the ghost of the prince tells him he's going to win. We get picks from several people who's going to win the match. Then there's a recap of General Manager William Regal booking the match for TakeOver. We also find out that later on we're going to be having a triple threat match to determine number one contendership for the NXT tag titles, which is Undisputed Era's Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong, Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, and a mystery team. What is it going to be? We'll find out later. We had a match with Isaiah Swerve, Scott, and Tony Nese. Not a bad match. Scott wins after Jack Gallagher came out for a distraction. Tony Nese tried to take advantage of it, but Scott, though, overcame it, and he wins, which, good. I'm glad, because I feel like Scott, should be winning more matches. I feel like he hasn't been winning too much, but he wins a match, so I was glad about that. Um, we then get this number one contendership for the triple threat match for the NXT tag titles. We have the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong, Odie Lorcan and Danny Burch, and then the mystery team comes out. And at first, I did not recognize them. I'm like, what? But then the lights came back on. It was Breezango. Breezango had returned after being out for a few months because Fandango got injured. But Breezango was back dressed up as astronauts, which I thought had an astronaut themed entrance. I thought it was pretty cool. Solid tag match. I enjoyed it. Breezango won though, but they're not going to be facing Imperium at Takeover in Your House. We're probably going to get in that tag match with it on NXT sometime soon. But I'm fine with that. I always thought they were going to go with Odie Lorcan and Danny Burch based off that video package we got last week. But instead we're getting Breezango and they're back. Honestly, I'm not sure how long Imperium will have the tag titles if NXT UK opens back up again. They probably should be tag champs over there. But I'd be fine with putting the tag titles back on Breezango. We'll put them on Breezango. I think they deserve them. I think they're a great act. I like how they're definitely digging more into the character than they would have if they were still on the main roster. But that was a nice surprise. I'm glad to see them back. After the match, though, Imperium comes out to stare them down. As the rest of the tag teams that were out there with Lorcan and Burch and whatnot came out as well. But then I was reminded of something. Out comes Malcolm Bivens and Indus Sher. And they basically have a back and forth exchange. Basically, saying, hey, you guys may be fighting for the tag titles, but we're still here. I didn't see Indus Sher for a while, and honestly, I'm not digging it at all. I really hope that I'm just not for them. I basically see them try to do another recycle in the Authors of Pain with them, pretty much. But Authors of Pain has, is their uniqueness. Indus Sher, I'm not digging it. I'm really not. I'm pretty sure I'll probably put the tag titles on like Breezango eventually, and then have them drop to Indus Sher. This tag division, I think, does need a little bit of a rebuilding at NXT. We definitely need some fresh faces. We still have Era, Era. If they're staying in NXT any much longer, I'm not sure if they will or not. Who knows? Undisputed Era, we have, again, Breezango, Lorcan and Burch, Imperium. Not too many other teams, though, really. A lot of teams have kind of gone their own ways, I feel like. But, yeah, we'll see how that match goes when it happens. I'm hoping for a good match. Afterwards, though, we see a very random segment from last week where Chelsea Green fired Robert Stone. Which I was like, okay, it just got started. Why did this just come out of the blue? I don't know why they did that, but basically Robert Stone thought that Chelsea was kidding, but then during the next match, Aaliyah and Santana Garrett, Robert Stone came out trying to, obviously, trying to, recruit Aaliyah, because obviously Aaliyah's shown some interest in joining the Robert Stone brand. Now that Robert Stone has nobody, he goes after Aaliyah, but Aaliyah loses to Santana Garrett, so obviously, Stone's not having too much luck here. Following that, we have the prime target for the Women's Championship. We have Io Shirai in the water talking about the strength she gets from being alone. Rhea Ripley gets up early to go to the gym and talks about how her great 2019 ended, but how rocky 2020 has been. Charlotte is practicing in the ring, talking about how she's NXT homegrown. Rhea gets some more time talking about Sunday, with talking heads covering her decision to challenge Flair after the Rumble. And though some people talk up Shirai as one of the best in the world, not a bad hype video, I will say, for this triple threat match, which should be a pretty solid match. And of course, my prediction, I'll get to that when I get to my takeover predictions. Cameron Grimes then defeated Bronson Reed. Grimes gets another win, and remember, recently he had a win over Finn Balor whenever Damian Priest was revealed to be his attacker, which of course we'll get that match on Sunday. But after the match, though, we have Karrion Kross slide in behind Grimes and Reed. But then Grimes bails, and Cross hits the Doomsday Sato suplex on Reed to deliver a warning to Ciampa. Tick tock. Can't wait for that match on Sunday. We'll get to my predictions again for that later on. We also learned that because of that random brawl we got in the opening match, we're having a 6-woman tag match between Mia Yim, Shotzi Blackheart, and Tegan Nox taking on a team of Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. Random, but should be solid. We'll talk about it when we get to my takeover predictions. But kind of random. I'm surprised we didn't get like a NXT tag title match, or we didn't get just Mia Yim and Candice LeRae, or like we didn't get I thought maybe we would get the Cruiserweight Championship finals, or we could have done Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher in that fight pit, but could have made sense. To be real, could have made sense in your house. They're inside the fight pit, whatnot. They could have done something, but nah, we're not getting that. Then our main event for the finals for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. El Hijo del Fantasma taking on Drake Maverick. Handshakes at the beginning, but then Fantasma tricks it in, rolls in the Maverick. Not a bad match. I definitely think, Fantasma definitely dominated Maverick most of this match. But, of course, Maverick had that, fight feel, not giving up. The booking Maverick has kind of gotten during this Cruiserweight Championship tournament kind of really reminded me of Mustafa Ali. I mean, Mustafa Ali's career wasn't like just about on the line, as he was one of the people who was released. But I do think he showed a lot of empathy, and he definitely really sold the pain that got brought to him pretty well, and I think he told even though his release, they kind of used it to tell a story, which, of course, newsflash, he's not getting released. I'll explain that in a second. Well, he's back in the company. He continued to have a good match again, putting on this the showing where he looked like the underdog, obviously, but he was fighting back a lot, and it looked like he was going to have a chance to actually beat El Hijo del Fantasma. He did beat Kushida with a roll up. Why can't he beat El Hijo del Fantasma? But towards the end of the match, we had involvement from, those Latinos who've been capturing people. But Maverick is having to show some respect and try to take them out. But unfortunately, it caused a distraction, and El Hijo del Fantasma wins the match and become the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. I'm really starting to wonder if El Hijo del Fantasma is behind these. I may have mentioned that last week, because I did hear someone mentioning that recently. I'm wondering if El Hijo del Fantasma is involved still with these attacks from those masked men. My thing is, though, is we have an interim Cruiserweight champion now. But if he's going to turn heel and be part of that group, how's he supposed to feud with Jordan Devlin for the actual Cruiserweight Championship when Devlin comes back? That's the only thing I have that they're going to go with that. But if they're going to go with it, though, I still find it unique that they're doing it that way. But yeah, still a great main event. After the match, though, of course, everybody's giving Drake Maverick a standing ovation because obviously he was released, but they allowed him to wrestle in this tournament, so his career is over. The crowd is cheering for Drake, and he looks in the camera, tells us he loves us and thanks us for everything. And of course, I'm like feeling the same thing too, because I definitely think Drake Maverick, definitely got me interested in 205 Live. I mean, I haven't watched 205 Live since last late summer, early fall, probably right after SummerSlam. I'd say is when after Night of Champion. Clash of Champions, I'd say last year is when I stopped watching 205 Live, because I just didn't, around the time again when NXT first started getting the cruiserweights, because I just didn't find any point in it if they're going to do stuff with the cruiserweights in NXT anyways. Again, it's kind of like watching main event again. But Drake did get me interested though in the cruiserweight division period to begin with. And yes, he's had some weird booking decisions, such as being a face on 205 Live, but a heel everywhere else. The 24/7 championship stuff was funny, but of course it got a little old after a while, because it's like, okay, how is Renee Michelle not broken up with him yet, because he hasn't consummated his marriage? He's too focused on a 24/7 championship. But he still did a lot for this company when he was around. But it's not over, guys, because afterwards Triple H kind of pulled the Cedric Alexander, basically, re-endorsing Maverick as, Maverick, of course, obviously did a fantastic job, playing, the underdog babyface of this tournament and such. He came out with an NXT contract, and Drake Maverick signed it. Triple H signed it, and just like that, Drake Maverick is still in WWE. He signed at NXT, and yeah, so we got it. Drake's still around, so I'm not sure if he'll go after El Hijo del Fantasma for the Cruiserweight Championship because of the involvement, and we'll find out eventually that Maverick, was screwed by Fantasma. Who knows? But Drake's still sticking around. So that's going to do it for this review. What do I give this? I'll give it like a really low B+. Like, I liked the video packages. The matches were good. They weren't spectacular. But I think it did have some excitement. Especially stuff with, Drake Maverick. I enjoyed the video packages again. I like the return of Breezango. I'll give it like an 88%, like a B+, pretty much, if you think what it was. Let's check the live chat real quick. Tyler said, "What Roman Reigns match pissed you off the most?" It was Brock. Him and Brock at WrestleMania 34. Maybe him and Jinder Mahal. I'd say no. I'm sorry. Roman Reigns and Triple H pissed me off most because that was a freaking dream match of mine, and they screwed that up, and I hated the match at Mania. I hope Braun retains as well. Hope this virus goes away. Bayley's a paper champion, he thinks. It was funny with Truth and Maverick with a 24/7 title. It was, but like I said, it just kind of got old. But I'm glad Maverick is sticking around, though, and got his job back for sure. Definitely, that video was definitely emotionally posted, but he got his job back, and he's not going anywhere. So that's going to do it, guys. It's going to do it for my live review of NXT. Again, I'll be back here in a couple minutes to do my NXT TakeOver in your house preview and predictions. And again, tomorrow night, I will review AEW Dynamite and catch up on that tomorrow night. So, guys, what are your thoughts on NXT this week? Give it a B+. Leave us down in the comment section below. Which is always slap a like on the video. Subscribe or comment to my channel. And follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93. And with that, guys, I'll see you guys in a few minutes for my preview predictions for In Your House. So until then, guys, I'll see you all soon. Peace out, everybody.